Good morning, students. We will start the revision of product design, which is module 2. The contents of this product design includes introduction to product design, engineering design, organization and decomposition in product design process, methodical evaluation in product design, concurrent engineering, and assignments questions at the last. We will go through what do you mean by product design and why it is needed. Product design is the process of identifying a market opportunity, clearly defining the problem, developing a proper solution for that problem, and validating the solution with real users. That means it is a process of identifying a market opportunity with respect to a particular product. See, if you trying to design for example, a mobile phone, whether that mobile phone is having a particular opportunity in the market, whether the problem for that is clearly defined, developing for the problem a proper solution, and validating the solution with the real users is called as product design. Design thinking is a method for the practical resolution of the problems. Originally coined by David Kelly and Tim Brown of IDEO, design thinking has become a popular approach to creating products. This approach encapsulates methods and ideas of human centered design into a single unified concept. Always please keep it in mind that design thinking is a method for the practical resolution of the problems. This approach always being encapsulated methods and ideas of human centered design into a single unified concept. Good designers have always applied design thinking to product design, whether physical or digital, because it is focused on end to end product development and not just the design phase part. Understand? Good designers will always apply thinking from them to design a product, whether it may be a physical or digital one, because it is focused on end to end product development and not just the design phase part. Right? When thinking about products or features, designers should understand the business objectives and able to answer the following questions first. Suppose if you are a design engineer, always from the company's point of view or an organization point of view, what is the organization aim or business objectives, you should be covering those. You have to understand that, taking that concept into the mind, you have to ask the questions for yourself: what problem we solving, who has this problem, what do we want to achieve. These questions has to be asked by oneself and answer them, try to answer them. See, that will be the role of the good designer in any organization. Answering these questions help designers understand the user experience of a product as a whole, not purely the interaction or visual part of the design. Only after answering these questions does it make sense to move to finding a solution for the problem. That is the question. I mean that answering these questions help design understand the user experience of a product as a whole, not purely the interaction by feel or visual part of the design. Right? Finding a solution to a particular problem includes following 5 phases. First is empathize, learn about the people from whom you are designing, conduct research to develop a deeper understanding of users. This is the first phase for finding a solution to a problem. Empathize. where you are going to learn about the people from whom you are designing and conduct research to develop a deeper understanding of your users. Second is to define the problem for a solution. Create a point of view that is based on user needs and insights. You have to define a problem such that it should create a point of view that is based on user needs and its insights. Ideate, brainstorm and come up with an as many creative solution as possible. Generate a range of potential solutions by giving yourself and your team total freedom. That is the another phase of solving the problem. Fourth phase is prototype. Build a prototype to test your hypothesis. Creating a prototype lets designers see if they are on right track, and it often sparks different ideas that you wouldn't have come up with otherwise. See, always building a prototype is an inevitable part of the design. Before making a realistic product and to before entering into the market of that product, building a prototype where the designers will try to understand how the product will going to work, whether it has all the features which has been planned and it is incorporated or not, whether it is working or not. Those ideas will be uh, come to know at the stage of prototype building. Understand? That is the fourth phase of problem solving with respect to the product design. Fifth and the last stage is test. That is nothing but validation. Return to your users for feedback. Validation or testing is just nothing but return whatever the product you have built, return to users after you have to take the feedback from the customers and validate it. That is the fifth phase. If any modifications are needed, then one has to go ahead with the modifications. Those are the these are the 5 stages of a solution for a particular problem in the view of product design. You can see here in the diagram, first thing is to empathize, second is to define, ideate, prototype and test. See, these are the sequential steps of solving a product design problem. Always a product design has to follow these steps. Then the product design engineer is called as an good design engineer when he follows these steps. See, the next concept we'll look into that. Engineering design. The engineering design process is a common series of steps that engineers use in creating functional products and processes. The process is highly iterative. Parts of the process often need to be repeated many times before another can be entered through. The parts that get iterated and the number of such cycles in any given project may vary. Yes, what do you mean by engineering design? It is nothing but a common series of steps. The steps followed by engineer in creating functional products and process. That is called as engineering design. It is normally usually done by engineers. The common series of steps which are followed for a design of the product, functional product, in creating functional product and process. Right. This process is highly iterative. That means it is a highly step-by-step process. Parts of the process often need to be repeated many times. Right. before another can be entered. See, after one step, after conceptual stage, you're going for ideation stage, then you're going for modeling stage. At this stage, see, it is highly repetitive. You may again go to the conceptual stage, change the requirements, change the concept itself. See this, therefore many times you can re-enter into a previous stage. So it is highly iterative, though the parts that get iterated and the number of such cycles in any given project may vary. It may vary many times, so, right? That is nothing but engineering design. You see, it is a decision making process in which the basic sciences, mathematics and engineering sciences are applied to convert resources optimally to meet a stated objective. Engineering design is nothing but a decision making process. Often it is a step by step iterative in which you are going to apply mathematics, engineering sciences to convert resources optimally. To convert, you are going to use the resource optimally, not less, not more, optimally using resources to meet a stated objective. Whatever objectives which has been framed by the organization, according to that, you are going to design. Among the fundamental elements of the design process are the establishment of objectives and criteria, synthesis, analysis, construction, testing, and evaluation. See, these are the fundamental elements of the design process: establishment of objectives and criteria, synthesis, analysis, construction, testing, and evaluation. It is important to understand that there are various framings or articulations of the engineering design process. Different terminology employed may have varying degrees of overlap, which affects what steps get stated explicitly or deemed high level versus subordinate in any given model. The meaning is here there are various articulation of the engineering design process. It is not a single frame structure or a single thing. Various articulations, right? Different terminology employed have varying degree of overlap, which affects the step gets stated explicitly or deemed high level versus subordinate in any given model. One should understand that designing is not a simple, it is a complex state process, highly iterative. There are various articulations of the engineering design process. This, of course, applies as much as to a particular example steps sequences given here. One example framing of the engineering design process delineates the following steps, such as research, conceptualization, feasibility, assessment, establish design requirements, preliminary design, detailed design, production planning and tool, and production. See, these are the steps or one of the example of framing the engineering design process. Delineates the stages. It starts from research, then concept, whether you have to, then feasibility study, whether it is possible to do it or not, assessment, that is nothing but evaluation, establishing design requirements, preliminary design, where you are going to build a prototype and test, detailed design, production planning and tool design, and production at the last. So here, therefore, the engineering design have this different stages one has to follow. Next concept is organization and decomposition in product design. Product development organizations seek to create profitable product designs. The decomposition of the profit maximization problem leads to traditional product development processes. Decomposition in product design is nothing but maximizing the profit by solving the problems. That is the meaning here. Decomposition provides a framework that integrates the conceptual models of design conceptual models of decision based design and the traditional description of the product development processes. The key reasons for decomposition and discusses why the decomposition varies among product development organizations. See here, decomposition provides a framework that integrates the conceptual models of the design decision based design and the traditional description of the product development process. The key reason for decomposition and discuss why the decomposition varies among product development organization. It is not same for the organization. It varies depend upon the product. The decomposition depend upon the product. That is the meaning here. The design engineering community has focused much effort on understanding design as a decision making activity. This work has yielded decision based design, a perspective that views design as a decision making process involving values, uncertainty, and risk. See, always design engineers thinks the engineering design as understands as a decision making activity. This work has yielded decision based design, which is a perspective that views design as an decision making process involving values, uncertainty, and risk. So that is why the product design is very very important, because it is nothing but a decision making step. So it is called as DBD, decision making design activity, which always take into the risk factors, uncertainties, and the values. The research on DBD includes a wide variety of approaches. Some research on DBD includes efforts to reformulate product development using approaches that integrate numerous design decisions and solve large optimization problems whose objective function is to maximize company profit. The meaning of this sentence is, whatever the research will be going on decision based design, it is a wide variety of method of approach. It is not a single set of approach. It is wide variety. It is an widespread activity, pervasive, you may call. Some research on DBD includes efforts to reformulate product development using approaches that integrate numerous design decisions and solve large optimization problems whose objective only the objective always the objective will be profit maximization with respect to the company. Understand here, the decision based design, we should understand you should understand that it integrates numerous design decisions and large it solves large optimization problems, so that it results in profitability. Such an integrated formulation is meant to simplify the product development process and lead to better designs, because the integrated model includes all the competing performance measures and maps them to more fundamental objectives that are important to the manager of the manufacturing firm. This approach sounds reasonable, so why does it appear to be so novel? The meaning is here, such an integrated formulation, what it will do, it will simplify the product development process and it leads to better decisions on designs, because the integrated model includes all the competing performance measures and maps them more fundamental objectives such as profitability and market share that are important to the manager of the manufacturing firm. This approach sounds reasonable, so why does it appear so novel or even controversial? Right, this is the meaning. Product development organization exists to design profitable products with a reasonable amount of development time and cost. Given this simple objective, it is noteworthy that the structure of product development organization varies widely from firm to firm, and the product development process used in these organizations also varies widely. First thing you have to understand here, product development organizations exist to design profitable products with a reasonable amount of development time and cost. See here, the design engineers should always keep in mind the development cost as well as the time. Within the structured time frame and the cost, one has to design the product. Given this simple objective, it is noteworthy that the structure of the product development organization varies widely from firm to firm. It depends, I told you earlier itself, it depends on the product and the type of the company, right, firm to firm. And the product development process used in this organization also varies widely. That is the meaning here. This diversity results from various ways that firms decompose the problem. This is how the decomposition of the problem gets varies from firm to firm. Each firm's decomposition reflects their unique situation and their ability to balance the benefits of decomposition and the advantages of integration. See here, from firm to firm, the decomposition of the product design varies, and it is a unique situation and their ability to balance the benefits of decomposition and the advantages of the integration. The decomposition is a rational strategy given the time, cognitive, and resource constraints that exist. Understanding this reality will help managers and researchers design and implement product development process improvements. Meaning is here, it is rational strategy means it is a fundamental planning given the time and the intellectual and resource constraint that exist. The decomposition of a product design is nothing but it is a fundamental plan considering the time, intellectual, and the resource constraint that exist within the company. Right. Understanding this reality will help managers and researchers design and implement product development process improvements. By understanding these constraints only, the design engineers can implement the product development process improvements. Decomposition transforms the idealized concept of product development into practical world of time and resource constraints. This is very important. This is the decomposition of the design problem, not the decomposition of the product design. Though these two things are certainly related. What does decomposition do? Decomposition transforms the idealized concept of the product development into the practical world of the time and resource constraint. This is the decomposition of the design problem. Next concept is product design process. See, there are mainly 6 steps in product design process which I am going to briefly discuss in this concept. First one is, in the product design process, always it starts with idea generation. The design process begins with understanding the customers and their needs. What the customer is required, what is the necessity of the customer, all those things are listed, noted down by the organization. Ideas for new products can come from variety of sources, both within and outside the firm. So, based on the requirement of the customers, one has to develop an idea or generate an idea The idea may be within the company, existing within the company, or from outside the company also. Internal sources includes employees, research and development, market research, sales force, and reverse engineering. Always within the company, if the idea is generated, it is from R&D, from the market resource sources, from the employees, from the reverse engineering, and from the sales force. So whereas from the outside means from the consultants. Okay, that is the idea generation step, which is the first step in the product design process. Understand? Second one is screening the ideas. What is second step in product design process is screening the ideas. The purpose of screening ideas is to eliminate those ideas that do not appear to have high potential and so avoid the cost incurred at subsequent stages. Using group of people, proposals would be supported by graphics, models, and an outline specification, and judged against a set of criteria such as necessity to firm survival, role in filling out an existing product service, degree of overlap with existing products and services, utilizing existing processes and capabilities, impact on overall sales and profits of the company. See, next step is screening the ideas. Screening means to filter the ideas, whatever it is generated within the company and from the outside the company. See here, screening the ideas means what is the purpose? It is to eliminate those ideas which do not appear to have high potential and avoid the cost incurred at subsequent stages, which is time consuming and which idea is not feasible, and idea which will be having high costs, those ideas will be dropped out at this stage. Using group of people, proposals would be supported by graphics, models, and outline specification, and judged against a set of criteria such as necessity of the firm survival, role in filling out an existing product, degree of overlap with existing product, services, utilizing existing processes and capabilities, impact on overall sales and profits of the company. So here the meaning is, once the ideas are filtered, the group of peoples would decide which one is the better one based on already the existing product or the degree of overlap with the product, services, utilizing existing product and capabilities, impact on overall sales or profit of the company, or role in filling out an existing product. See, based on this, the ideas will be chosen. To have a better evaluation of ideas, each of the dimensions of the ideas is scored on a 0 to 10 scale, and each dimension is attached weights as per these dimensions. The resulting aggregate score helps in deciding which idea to progress and which idea should be dropped. See, there always the company screens the ideas on 0 to 10 scale points. Based on that, which idea has to be taken, considered, or which idea has to be dropped, it will be decided. Third step is feasibility study in the design process. Initial screening of the idea is designed to stop the ideas which are unsuitable for further considerations. Feasibility study consists of market analysis and economic analysis and technical and strategic analysis. Marketing takes the ideas that are generated and the customer needs that are identified from the first stage of the design process and develop alternate product concepts. See, once the screening is done, the second step is feasibility. Feasibility study, what does it consist? It consists of a market analysis, an economic analysis, and technical and strategic analysis. So this analysis will be consisted included in feasibility study. Marketing takes the ideas that are generated and the customer needs that are identified from stage of the decision process, develop alternate product concepts. Here market analysis is very important now in the feasibility study, because marketing takes the ideas that are generated and the customer needs that are identified from the first stage of the design process that develop alternate product concepts. The marketing analysis through customer analysis and market survey assesses whether there is an enough demand for the proposal product to invest in developing further. This is what the feasibility study is important. This is why it makes very important stage in the product design. The market analysis through customer analysis and market survey assesses whether there is an enough demand for the proposed product to invest or not in the developing further. So it will decide, the feasibility study will decide that whether the idea you have generated and conceptualized, screened, that will be successful in the market or not, whether it will be having the high demand or not, that will be understood in the feasibility study. That is the third step of the product design process. Then the next step is preliminary design. Design engineers see preliminary design, the name itself implies it's an primary design. Design engineers take general performance specifications and translate them into technical specifications. Here the first step is the design engineers will they will transform that general concepts into technical specifications. For example, it may be with respect to certain mechanical parameters like length, width, breadth, all this with respect to the dimensions of a product, or with respect to some of the factors or the parameters like force, torque, or whatever it may be. That technical specification will be defined here in the preliminary design. The process of preliminary design involves building a prototype, testing the prototype, revising the design, retesting, and so on until a viable design is determined. Design incorporates both form and function. Yes, preliminary design is nothing but you have to build a prototype. In this stage, you have to test the prototype, validate it until and unless your requirement is met. You have to build a prototype, test it. You have to do till the achievement is, till the goal is achieved, till that viability, what you call that viability, is achieved. Design incorporates both form and function. Form design refers to the physical appearance of the product, its shape, color, styling, etc. Aesthetics aspects such as image, market appeal, special identification also forms a part of the form design. That is called as form design. Next, fifth stage is pilot runs and testing. After the prototype, here pilot runs and testing. Once you decide the product, the preliminary stage prototypes are built and tested after several iterations, that means several steps. Pilot run on the manufacturing process is conducted. Adjustments are made as needed before finalizing the design. Apart from continuously testing the product for performance, market testing is also carried out to check the acceptability of the product in the defined market and customer group. See, before making the product to enter into the market, pilot runs and testing is done. What do you mean by pilot run? It is nothing but the manufacturing process which is conducted. Adjustments are made as per the requirement, finalizing the design. Apart from continuously testing the product for performance, market testing is also carried out to check the acceptability of the product in the defined market and the customer group. This helps to know in advance whether customer will accept and buy this product on the launching in the market. Thus, testing market is a powerful tool. So, fifth step is always an important, keeping in mind that before launching a product into the market, pilot running and testing is done. This makes the company to understand whether the product has to be developed and manufactured in a huge volume or not. Whether, see, this test is a crucial. In this step also, the company may drop the plan of developing that product or the product design. New product launch, that is the final stage. Launching a new product or service, ramp up production. The process is refined and debugged, but it is yet to operate at a sustained level of production. In a ramp up, production starts at a relatively low level of volume as the organization develops confidence in its ability to execute production consistently and marketing abilities to sell the product. The volume increases. See, what is the meaning of this? The meaning is here, the company, whatever the product is manufactured, the product will be initially launched into a market in a very small volume. Think that in terms of hundreds. Okay, once the customer accepts it and gets acknowledges its the performance of the product, then the company will go ahead with the production of the product in a high volume at a rapid rate. Understand, this is the thing, this is the what you call idea behind launching a product. Simply, the company will not launch a product in a huge volume, so that what happens if it launches a huge volume, it may fail also. So here a small amount initially will be launched, then subsequently the higher amount as per the requirement and based on the customer satisfaction. Launching the new product or service involves coordinating the supply chain and rolling out market plans. Marketing and production will work in coordinated with way during this phase. So these are the 6 steps in product design process. The first step, idea generation. Second step is the screening the idea. Third step, feasibility study. Fourth step, you know that preliminary design. Fifth step, pilot running and testing. Sixth step is new product launch. All these 6 steps, if they ask in the examination, explain the product design process, you have to all define all the 6 steps with the help of the need diagram. Understand? So you can see in the diagram here, first step is idea generation, where idea is generated, see, from the internal customers as well as from the external customers. Who are the internal customers? R&D, marketing, competitors, those are all suppliers, customers and competitors are externals. Then the screening the ideas which are not suitable will be left out there. Third one is the feasibility study. Based on the performance specification, the feasibility study will be taken into the preliminary design. So preliminary design, it consists of form design, functional design and production design. See, which are interrelated to pilot runs and tests. Form design, I told you, it might be related to aesthetic appearance, style, form, weight and functional design with respect to the parameters. Production design, manufacturing or delivery specifications. So pilot runs and tests will be done, then afterwards launching the new product based on the final decision and process plans. So this is the design process steps involved. With help of this diagram, you have to explain the design process steps. In the preliminary design itself, the prototype will be built, okay, and it will be tested and the changes will be done according to the requirement. So here the you can see the arrow mark in the both the directions, because see again it will be fed back to the form design. The design modifications will be done, and again prototype will be new prototype will be built and tested again. All those things will be done in the preliminary design before pilot running and testing. So you have to understand this concept thoroughly, then explain it with help of the neat diagram. So the next concept is methodological evaluation in product design. Designers, design managers, and educators also need an evaluation process when selecting creative ideas or different design layouts for creative projects. See, design engineers, managers needs an evaluation process while selecting a creative ideas. Think that an idea will is generated from an employee. That idea is not taken as simply. It will be evaluated by a certain group of people, that is like design engineers, managers, and educators, or different design layout for creative projects. In order to achieve the best output of the selection process, an evaluation methodology should be considered to make sure that selected creative or design idea is the best choice to achieve the company's target. In order to achieve the best output of the selection process, an evaluation methodology should be considered to make sure that selected creative or design idea is the best choice to achieve the company's target. Unlike evaluative business plans or marketing research, which deal with statistics, numbers, or charts, reviewing creating ideas is more complicated as it focuses on the potential success of the initial starting ideas. The evaluation methods helps in reviewing a large number of ideas in order to reach the one that it is most likely to succeed in market. See here, evaluation is the major step in the product design. Evaluation business plans, market research will deal with statistics, numbers, or charts, reviewing creating ideas, and focuses on the potential success of the initial starting ideas. The evaluation methods helps in reviewing a large number of ideas to reach the one that is most likely to succeed in the market. The evaluation method ensures putting the right team in the selection process and understands the problem potentially inherent in a creative idea and seeks to correct them during the implementation process. The evaluation method ensures putting the right team in the selection process and understands the problem potentially inherent in a creative idea and seeks to correct them during the implementation process. Mainly, there are three methods that help in evaluation design ideas, that is pass fail evaluation, evaluation matrix, and SWOT analysis. So, these three methods are used for the evaluation of the product design: pass fail analysis, evaluation matrix, and SWOT analysis. These methods can be implemented individually or in sequence based number of steps on the number of creative ideas and the type of evaluation required. See, the selection of the method depends on the steps on the number of creative ideas and the type of evaluation required. See here, main thing is the evaluation method ensures putting the right team in the selection process, understand the problems potentially inherent in a creative ideas, and seek to correct them during the implementation process. So this is about the method methodological evaluation in product design. So basically there are three methods: pass fail evaluation, evaluation matrix, and SWOT analysis. Based on these methods, the evaluation will be done. Evaluation is a major step. Why? Because otherwise it leads to the total catastrophic failure of the company if the evaluation is not done perfectly. Even though the idea is generated at the initial stage, the managers will be evaluating that idea, screening them. All those things will be done in order to achieve the company's target. Understand? This is about the evaluation of the product design. Next is very important concept, concurrent engineering. Concurrent engineering, also known as simultaneous engineering. So it is very different from the traditional engineering, that is waterfall, what do you call waterfall method of engineering. It is a method of designing and developing products in which the different stages runs simultaneously. All the design stages, what I told, idea generation, screening, feasibility study, then preliminary design, and the testing, pilot run, and all those things, pilot run and test. This will run parallelly, not step by step. It is not a sequential design. This is a concurrent engineering. Okay, so that why it is run parallelly or simultaneously rather than consecutively, decreases product development time. It decreases product development time, so the time to market leading to improved productivity, and it reduces costs. It reduces cost. Then concurrent engineering is a long-term business strategy with long-term benefits to business. Though initial implementation can be challenging, the competitive advantage means it is beneficial in the long term. It's a long-term business strategy. It is not short-term. You can't expect the benefits from the short time period. It is a long-term business strategy. Understand? It removes the need to have multiple design reworks by creating an environment for designing a product right the first time round. Understand? This is the main thing. The notable business benefits of concurrent engineering make it compelling a strategy to adapt. Introducing concurrent engineering can lead to competitive advantage, enhance productivity, decrease design and product time. What are the advantages of concurrent engineering? Reduce time to market, that is competitive advantage. Reduction in time to market means that businesses gain an edge over their competitors. Enhanced productivity. Earlier discoveries of design problems means potential issues can be corrected soon rather than a later stage in the development process. It decreases design and development time. It makes products which much their customer needs in less time at a reduced cost. These are the notable business benefits of concurrent engineering in a long time strategy. Okay. It enhances productivity, decreases design and development time. It is a competitive advantage for the organization. These are the main advantages of having an concurrent engineering incorporated in the product design. Nowadays all the MNCs and Fortune 500 companies will work with concurrent engineering, not with a sequential engineering or a traditional waterfall process. Understand? So in this diagram I will show you that is here the difference between the traditional one as well as the concurrent engineering. The left side of the diagram indicates the sequential engineering. Understand? Or the waterfall design process or the step by step traditional engineering, where the right side of the diagram is nothing but concurrent engineering. You can see here the difference is in the step by step or the waterfall type of engineering design process. See, after requirements design, after then design implementation, then verification, and then maintenance. Whereas here in this concurrent engineering, you can see here initial planning and deployment can enter at any stage of the design, planning as well as the deployment. So here, so it is called as concurrent, sequential. So it is a cyclic process. It is a cyclic process. Requirement analysis, implementation, deployment, testing, evaluation. Again, it can be taken to the planning. Okay, so it is not a step by step process. All the activities will be running parallelly, that is simultaneously. Understood? Planning, deployment, implementation, analysis, testing, and evaluation. So here the advantages I told you, it reduces development time as well as the design time. It gives an competitive thing to the market, and also increase productivity. That is the benefit of having the concurrent engineering. See, these are the topics of the first part of the module 2, which is nothing but the product design. In the next topic, next part we'll going to learn about. I will teach you many other concepts which are there as per the syllabus. Now this will be these two questions are I asked as an assignment questions. Explain product design process, explain concurrent engineering. So you have to submit the assignments for an attendance as well as for the marks, internal marks. Understand? Thank you. See, in the next video, I'll continue with the part 2. Okay.